Hi everyone, it's Jan from Jannplansthings and welcome to my Plan With Me video for this week. This week someone requested a cat, which is perfectly fine with me because I love my cat. So we're going to start off by sketching the theme with the pencil first. So those of you who know me in real life realize that I'm completely obsessed with my pet cat. His name is Humphrey, and so when someone on YouTube commented asking if I could show how I did my cat spreads, I did a month of cat spreads around, I think it was March or April of this year. I thought, yeah, why not? And so I thought of a way to incorporate a happy fat cat along with the ocean thing that we're doing for this month. So the concept was having this cat floating through the water. He's got his little safety air bubble on so that he can breathe, obviously, and he's got a flurry of fish swimming around him, which I thought was kind of fun because whenever I take my cat to visit home, he just loves hanging out with the goldfish. Probably the goldfish likes it a lot less, but it's kind of cute. He just sits next to the tank all day. So what you see here is a Pentel pocket brush pen. I've not shown this one before. So this has real bristles at the end. I think they're made of nylon, so they're quite springy. And the pen itself is refillable. So I'm just going to show you the inside of it. So you can see a little ink cartridge. I've used it a bit, so it's a bit empty. And I like using this because it's kind of like it's like a sumi-ease type style. Like really great if you're doing like traditional character calligraphy. I think that's what it was originally made for as well. But the thing with this pen is that it's a little bit difficult to use. You'll find that because the bristles aren't as stiff as, say, on a Fudenosuke pen by Tombow, it has a lot of bend in it, so you have to be quite light-handed to get a nice fine line. But I do like using it because it is water fast, so I can watercolour over it, but it bleeds a little through the water, which is a little bit disappointing. I think that it's probably because the paper is a bit too thin. So I have to try it in other journals to see if it bleeds through that as well, but it only bleeds a little bit, so I don't mind it so much. And I really like the effect that it has. It's kind of like if I had brushed in my outlines instead of like ink them with a pen. So because I don't have as much control, I'm switching over to the Sakura Micron Pigma pen now, just so that I can do some of the sharper elements a little bit easier. So you can see I'm using that to draw in the fish and the little breathing bubble that he has, and I find that I just have a little bit more control with this pen because it's a bit stiffer, but it is very uniform, so I don't get the variation in line. So I'm going to go back afterwards with the other pen just a little bit to create a little bit more variation and interest in the line work. Because I find that if you have it just the one thickness all the way through, it's very uniform and not as interesting to look at. So you can see I'm sketching out some plants, like he's just up to, it's not a very deep pool that he's dropped into. A little bit of plants at the bottom. I wanted the fish swirling at the top, so kind of like you can have a warm sun breaking through. And I was really indecisive about where I wanted to put the date bubble, so you can see me like drawing them in, crossing them out, drawing them in. So in the end I decided to do something a little bit asymmetrical, which I was okay with. So you can see here I'm just like fixing up the line work again with the pocket brush pen. It's made a comeback, and just as you can see as I'm going through, and I never try and draw one whole line continuously with the pocket brush pen because it's hard to control. So I just do maybe like quarters of the circle instead to make it as I go around, just to make it a little bit more interesting and give me a little bit of control over shorter distances. So I'm using my Daniel Smith watercolours again, and I've just popped out a black pan because I wanted a really dark lamp black for details, just to mix in some colours. And for the cat, like cats are great to draw watercolours because their fur, if you've got a calico or cat or something, it blends very well with watercolour. So I went through and did a gentle black-brown wash first, and then I've gone over a little bit of blue-grey because I figured that he's underwater, so he needs to have a bit of a blue tinge to him. So after going through with the light wash, I'm going with the nice bright blue and just blending it in. And then so it's kind of, as he sinks in to the water, the blue kind of glows underneath, so that it feels like he's lit well. But I think after I did this, I realised he was a little bit cool, and I wanted the cool tone, not cool cat. But I wanted him a little bit warmer, so I've mixed a little bit of yellow in to the colours, and I'm gonna slowly add warmth and add warmth to him as we go along. So I've just I made a little bit of like peachy red just to put in his cheeks and his ears, and just a little bit on his stomach as well, because I want the top half of the cat to have a little bit of warmth to it, because the warm colour is coming from the top of the picture. So I'm using that same red orange colour. I'm using that to colour in the fish. Maybe they're goldfish. I don't know. I didn't want to paint silverfish because I figured that wouldn't be as colourful as I wanted. And so I'm painting, so because the bubbles, when you have a bubble, it reflects the colour, so I paint the top of the bubbles blue and the bottom of the bubbles orange, just to make it a little bit more, not as boring in colour tones, if that makes sense, for the bubbles. And now for the background, I just wanted a little splash of colour, so like there's a little river of blue running through the centre. So I wet my brush and I went through and just put a really light wash of water, and then really quickly went through with the blue and dabbed this colour on. So, and this is so that it was easier to blend because the paper was already wet, but as you guys, I keep on telling you guys, the woven paper is very thin, so don't put too much water, just enough. The other thing is, I've recommended a lot of you don't use a water brush pen. You know, it's those pens that you can buy that have the water already inside the brush. I find that it's just too wet to use on an LT, and it just buckles the paper too quickly. So because I really enjoyed having the metallics last week, I've gone back this week and added a few more and used the Finetech palette again to make a little bit of metallic. So I figured that like the scales of the fish would be quite metallic. So, and then the water, as you look underneath, the water has that little twinkle of colour as it passes through, as the light hits the surface of the water. So that's kind of what I wanted to emulate with the metallics this time. So it's not as strong as it was with last week's layout, but I'm really happy with how like subtle it is and how it looks there. So what I'm doing now is just like finishing off some blending, and I just wanted to add a little bit of shadows to the date bubbles. So I had a couple of bubbles scattered through, and then I'm also going to use the 6 main ones for the weekly bubbles, because I'm combining my Saturday and Sunday into one, because I find that I don't like to do too much on the weekend. I like to relax, so I don't add a lot of tasks to the weekend for myself. That's why I'm okay with combining it most days. Plus it's great if you want a symmetrical layout. So there we go. I've used the Tombow Fudenosuke for the lettering again, and just a bit of shadows for that top corner. And that's the spread. I'm actually really pleased with this one. First off, there's a cat, which always makes it better, and I really hope you guys enjoyed that. And thank you again for all your support, and I'd love it if you could subscribe to my channel or like this video. Thanks again, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!